Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the MFSA Digital Contact Session, where we are specifically going to focus on consumer centricity. I think it is very, very important for MFSA and our members to make sure that we keep our consumers happy. And how do we do that? By providing them with a specific service. We've got a lovely agenda today. We've got two speakers lined up. The one is Howard Gabriels from the Credit Ombud, and he's going to explain exactly the services that the Credit Ombud does for our members and also for consumers. And then we have an international speaker that's going to speak on consumer centricity and the influence it has on your business. His name is Abdullah, and we really look forward to his presentation. I would recommend that everyone gets their coffee ready and get ready for the day. So first on the agenda, we are going to look at a video from Universal Insurance.
Good day. My name is Franz Schütz. I'm the Managing Director of Universal Insurance Administrators. For the past 14 years, we've been serving the credit providers in the industry with unique products and services and mitigating your risk and also adding to your income. We've been building long-lasting relationships with more than 250 credit providers nationally, and we're constantly investing in expanding on that. We understand the industry, we understand your clients, and we know why they come to you for credit, to be able to afford the things that is important to them. Together, we can take that support to the next level. How do we do that? By giving back to the community. Universal Insurance Administrators has decided to launch yet again a new value-added product for you as the credit provider. This will be a mobile app, and we call it UIA Assist. This is specifically designed for your clients that makes use of the UIA insurance products. For now, it will be launched on the Android platform, with the Apple Store to follow soon. So what does this app do for your clients? It will basically have two features. One being an easy to use discount coupon feature that can save your client up to 500 Rand per month on any daily essentials at any Checkers ShopRite nationwide. The second feature will be a panic button feature, and they will get immediate expert response, doesn't matter where they are in South Africa. So this app has been designed with one core vision in mind, and that is to save money and to save lives. If you are an existing client of Universal Insurance Administrators, we've got great news for you. UIA have decided to give this UIA Assist app for the next 6 months free of charge, as well as the products to your clients, starting right now. There are 4 reasons why this app will be great for your business. Number 1, there will be no registration or software installations for you as the credit provider. UIA will basically manage this in the background with our software and report to you on a monthly basis. Your clients will easily see the value in this UIA Assist app. So by doing a payment on their loan and their insurance, they will automatically qualify for the UIA Assist app and for all the features involved there. Thirdly, any new clients will see the value in the offering that you have and will sign up with you. Lastly, your clients will see your company for what it is, one that gives back to the community, brand loyalty and trust. So what's the next step? You must simply tell your clients about the UIA Assist app and get them to download and use it. Again, Universal has made this easy for you. We've done marketing material in the form of flyers, pre-printed posters, pre-written SMSs and WhatsApps that can simply be sent out to your clients. This will help them with the registration of the app and how to use it. And by simply doing that, they can start enjoying the benefits of this app. We'll soon be sending the marketing material to our existing clients. If you are not a client of Universal Insurance Administrators yet, certainly the UIA Assist app will be a great reason for you to get in contact with us. So join Universal Insurance Administrators today and enjoy all the benefits of the apps, better service, better products, and doing what's right for the community. And that is giving back to the community.
Right, what a lovely product. If you guys have any inquiries, you are more than welcome to contact Universal Insurance directly, or you can contact the association and we will give you the information. So I have two announcements to make. The first one is the MFSA digital contact sessions. That is open for everyone. So it's for members and for non-members. Our upcoming sessions will be advocacy on the 8th of September and then compliance legislation and regulation on the 10th of November. As you can remember, we did a session last time on compliance, but we will be doing another one. Then we have our digital compliance sessions. So this is only for members, and this is where MFSA focuses on compliance in the industry. We give you tips, we give you templates, we give you information on how to make sure that you and your staff are compliant. We also upload the information onto our website to make sure that you have everything and your staff can listen to it again. So there's a library. It contains important information regarding the industry. It has the digital compliance manual. We also have frequently asked questions on POPIA. So if you want more information on the compliance sessions, on membership, on your login details, please contact admin@mfsa.net and you can speak to Sunay. Also, please remember to save the MFSA WhatsApp number. It's 073-985-0346. Sunay will also put this in the chat to make sure that you receive all of the communication from the MFSA. You have to save this number so that we can put you on our broadcast list and we can send everything to you. Right, so let's look at the program. So first we will have a MicroMax video about their lovely product. Then we will look at and listen to Howard Gabriel's. Then Akiba Digital will do a live demo for the MFSA. Then we will play a nice game. Then we will listen to Glenn Davies from Experian, and then Abdullah Varachia will do his presentation. So let's welcome all of our sponsors as well. We really want to thank them for their support. This is the list of our sponsors. It's ACPAS, Akiba, AlpsI, Bankingly, BidMe, Experian, Kepler, NewPay Delta, MicroMax, SureCard, Sure Systems, TransUnion, and Universal. They are doing everything from presentations to videos. And if you need their contact details, please don't hesitate to contact us so that we can give it to you. Great. Let's have a look at MicroMax. Great. Thank you so much. I want to welcome Howard Gabriels from the Credit Ombud onto our platform. He was appointed as the Ombud in February 2021. He's currently the chairperson of the board of directors at Proudly South African. He's the chairperson of the Statistic Council from 2005 until 2013. He did a number of degrees, so you can see this is an educated man. And Howard, we are really looking forward to your presentation. So thank you, Howard. You can take over.
Thank you, Leonie. I just want to be sure you can see my presentation.
Yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Good morning, colleagues. Thank you very much for the opportunity and the invitation to speak to you at this workshop. It's a real pleasure for me to participate today. I'm going to start off with the mission of the trying to I want to start off with the mission of the Credit Ombud. And the core of our mission is to effectively resolve disputes between members of the credit industry and consumers, which include both individual consumers and also businesses with regard to credit and credit information matters. Secondly, we play a role in educating the public in matters pertaining to the credit industry. And then I want to emphasize the key values of the Credit Ombud, which is based on honesty, independence, and impartiality. And then in fairness, wherein we say we balance the rights of all parties. This is an important discussion because while the Ombud is an independent body, it does not represent the consumer, neither does it represent the credit provider. Its role is to bring the parties together to find a resolution of any dispute that there may be between the parties. The Credit Ombud is an ombud with jurisdiction. And later on, I will talk a little bit about the changes in the legislation. At present, the status as an ombud with jurisdiction was achieved in the Financial Services Ombud Scheme, and we've received recognition from the FSOS Ombud Council in 2009. The Credit Ombud is a registered public benefit organization with SARS, which effectively means that your membership fees to the Ombud could be considered as a donation which has a tax benefit. And we started our operations way back in March 2004. Just briefly on the jurisdiction of the Ombud, we deal with credit information matters, and this is firstly non-bank credit providers and subscribers to the credit bureaus, and everybody that lists information on the credit bureau. So it's not necessarily credit providers. We do a lot of work with some of the service providers like the mobile operators in the country. So a broad range of people that list information on the credit bureaus. We make a distinction between bank and non-bank credit. The bank credit is obvious. These are registered banks, and we don't deal with matters relating to bank credit. Those are dealt with by the Ombud for Banking Services. And we cover mostly the retail industry in furniture and clothing, micro-lending, non-bank vehicle finance, and non-bank property finance, and several others. There For example, there are organizations that provide a credit in the health sector and in the education sector that are also covered by the work we do. In terms of independence, the composition of the Credit Ombud Council is an important composition. So we have 4 independent members. Mr. Tifo Radipole is the chair. He's a lawyer. And then Ms. Thandi Zulu, who is a representative from the Black Sash, is the deputy chair. I've highlighted Ms. Mari van der Merwe because she's just passed away in the last few days. In fact, today there is a memorial service in her honor, and she represented the South African National Consumer Union on the council. And then Ms. Thuli Zungu is a journalist. Then we have 3 members that represent the industry members. Janine Nodeofulyun is from the Credit Bureau Association. Mr. Arthur Fluby, the Large Non-Bank Lenders Association, and Michael Lawrence from the National Clothing Federation. And one of the things we're making sure is that the independent council members is always in the majority. I just wanted to show you some of our numbers over the past few years and give you a sense of the operations of the Ombud. The number of calls we received in 2020 is 120, which generated complaints and general inquiries of 16,338. And really, there are 2 reasons for the decline between 2019 and 2020. The first reason is that at the end of 2019, we agreed with the banks that we will no longer deal with credit information matters relating to the banks, that those matters will be referred to the Ombud for Banking Service. And then the second reason is the impact of COVID. You will recall when we closed the offices in March, end of March last year, basically what happened is our operations came to a virtual standstill for a few weeks, and only in May and June eventually did we fully recover to our normal expected numbers. Disputes opened in 2020 was 3,143. Disputes closed is 3,111. And the average days to resolve a dispute is 46 days. Our target is 44 days, but it is still, I'm still comfortable that we're in a reasonable space. And then you see the advertising value. In last year, when we were dealing with the COVID environment, we lost some momentum in those months of April, May, and June, which explains a substantial decline. And fortunately, in our customer satisfaction survey, our numbers are up there at 86%. Just some of the issues that we're dealing with, and I've chosen a few that may be important in this sector. Some of the common complaints relating to statement of accounts. There's still complaints about reckless lending practices. There are also quite a few complaints coming through where products and especially the additional services are not properly explained to consumers, garnishing orders. And then over last year and this year as well, a number of complaints that has come about due to employees in the marketplace having had problems with their income, either being retrenched or had to take pay cuts. And then we have a very significant upsurge in consumers that are complaining that they're not getting paid up letters and closure letters. So that's just a snapshot of some of the complaints we're dealing with. There are obviously a larger body of issues that that we deal with, but in the micro lending sector, these are some of the significant issues we're still dealing with. Now, I'm going to slowly move into a discussion about some of the changes in the regulatory environment. And the first one is the change in our relationship with the National Credit Regulator. As you all know, the National Credit Regulator deals with individual complaints, and we concluded in March this year a memorandum of understanding with the NCR, which provides that the credit ombud as an alternative to disputes being investigated by the NCR against our subscribing members, that the NCR will refer non-bank credit agreement and credit information to the credit ombud. This is a very important development, and maybe just to clarify that this is provided for in Section 139. It's also referenced in 134 of the National Credit Act, whereby the National Credit Regulator may refer any disputes to an ombud with jurisdiction. So it fits in perfectly with the intention of the National Credit Act. We've also further agreed with them that we will provide quarterly reports on the resolution of disputes referred to by the NCR to us. And then we've agreed to cooperate in a number of areas in respect of capacity building training, on consumer awareness, and also in research and information. Already, we have had countless meetings with our colleagues at the NCR, and I'm very happy to say that we're building a very positive working relationships with our colleagues at the NCR. Some of you may have attended our annual report launch, will recall that a representative of the NCR, Ms. Takalani Madau, presented a message of support at our annual report launch earlier in the year. And this relationship is growing very strongly as we put in place all the measures so that we can effectively refer consumers between the NCR and ourselves. We've already had our first biannual meeting, which is also provided in the Memorandum of Understanding. And we've had about 2 or 3 workshops where we do training of the NCR staff in our processes, and where the NCR is doing training with us on their processes. So that relationship is growing in leaps and bounds every week, every month. And we're really happy that we conclude this agreement with the NCR. The next area that I want to talk about relates to the financial sector Regulation Act. The FSRA was promulgated in 2017, but Chapter 14 of the FSRA only came into effect on the 1st of November 2020. And at the beginning of the year, the minister appointed the Ombud Council, which is provided for in the FSRA. Now, the FSRA, the Ombud Council, in terms of Chapter 14, will be the body that regulate the ombud sector, the financial ombuds in the sector, and will give recognition, which gives us the status as an ombud with jurisdiction in the period that is now operational. So I've listed the names of the members of the Ombud Council. Ms. Dean Wood is well known to us, who chairs this council. She previously worked in the Ombud for short-term insurance, and then the vice chair is Advocate Chabedi. And then the minister appointed an interim chief ombud for a period of 12 months. Her name is Ms. Eileen Meyer, and her main task is to establish operations of the ombud. Already we have had several meetings with Eileen and beginning to work a very positive working relationship with her. Now, the FSRA in section 211.3 states that if a financial institution provides financial products and financial services, and there's a recognized industry ombud that provides for resolution of complaints about financial products or financial services of that kind, the financial institution must be a member of that industry ombud. So there's a very clear obligation on credit providers. And I've provided you with the definition in the FSRA of a financial institution here, which is a financial product provider, financial service provider, a market infrastructure holding company of a financial conglomerate, or a person licensed or required to be licensed in terms of a financial sector law. And that would include the National Credit Act. So we really want to encourage the MFSA members to become members of the Ombud. And I'm going to go on and talk a little bit about what is the value that the Credit Ombud offers. So it's become an accepted principle all over the world that governments, financial businesses, as well as consumer benefit if consumers have confidence in the financial market. One of the key factors in increasing consumer confidence is to provide accessible, user-friendly arrangements to resolve disputes. Consumers will have greater confidence in financial services if they know that if anything goes wrong, they're able to take their dispute to an independent body that will resolve the dispute quickly and informally without the consumer needing a lawyer. So how does the Credit Ombud help consumers? Our services are free of charge to consumers. We have made all arrangements to make it easy for consumers to contact us through our call center. We provide a free SMS line where you can send a message to 44786 and we will call you back at our cost to take down the details of any complaint you may have or inquiry. Or you can send us an email at the email address listed here. It's important to understand that when a consumer contacts us, when it is a a credit information matter, we will ask that consumer to give us the reference number they've got from the credit bureau. And we apply the same principle to the complaints relating to a credit provider, where we encourage the consumer to first raise their complaint with the credit provider and give the credit provider to resolve the dispute. And we follow the 20-day guideline that is given in the NCA. So it's a really important part that we often have consumers that approach us, but they have not approached the credit provider or the bureau. And then we push them back to go there and raise their complaint. And we're reasonably comfortable that a number of disputes are resolved at that point because we don't see them coming back to us. If the consumer can show us that they've tried to contact the credit bureau or the credit provider, then we will open a dispute and then investigate that dispute. One of the things that is really important is the role we play in consumer education. So we have an outreach program. We do a lot of work in radio, especially because we believe that is the most cost-effective way of reaching consumers. But these calls we get at our call center is equally an important part of explaining to consumers both their rights in terms of the Act, but also their obligations in terms of the Act. And obviously the obligations that they signed on for when the consumer agreement was entered into. So really, we think that, to put it in a different way, we've had 30,120 education sessions with consumers when they called our offices last year. The value to business obviously lies in the fact that they will benefit because the consumer are more likely to enter into financial agreements with their credit providers. Also, the value lies that the cost of resolving disputes are kept to the minimum, and unscrupulous competitors who act unlawfully are held account. So this cost per dispute is low. In our case, it's roughly about 3,000 Rand per dispute. And if you think of how much money you have to pay to lawyers to help you when you're dealing with your complaints, you will agree that that is a very low cost. And then the value to the industry is, in broad terms, if you take that we opened last year 3,143 disputes, those could quite easily have become complaints in the courts and in the legal space. So really, we provide an effective and cost-effective way of resolving complaints. And then we also address issues in the interest of a better industry and resolves problems even before they create systemic risk. We often engage with individual companies when we see a trend, and at times we've had members of the credit ombudsman actually changing their processes given the experience that we are picking up with specific trends that are coming about in us dealing with this. Obviously, we don't discuss the details of these trends outside of the conversation we have with the individual companies when we address them. And obviously, the onus is on the company to improve the process so that we can avoid these disputes from coming up. I'm going to conclude and leave you with some quotable quotes. Marin Shuttle says, "Thank your customer for complaining and mean it. Most will never bother to complain. They'll just walk away." And then Bill Gates said, "Your most unhappy customers are your greatest source of learning." And then there's a quote that we cannot attribute to anybody. "Customer service is not a department, it's an attitude." So when we talk about consumer centricity, the way in which we deal with complaints is an important part of building the sustainability of your business. And I believe that I've made out a case where the credit ombud can make a very significant contribution to dealing with what is sometimes an uncomfortable area in a way that is most efficient, most effective, and really at a very low cost for you to build a successful relationship with your customers. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Howard. Thank you for the presentation. So, Howard, maybe I would just like to confirm, is it now a compliance requirement for credit providers to belong to a credit ombud or to a ombud?
In terms of the FSRA, yes, it is a requirement for a credit provider to belong to a ombud, as Section 211 has now become operational. Section 211 has not been operational since from 2017. It only became operational at the end of last year.
Okay, great. And perhaps if you can just explain a little bit more in depth the agreement that was signed with the NCR. In practice, how will it work and how will it assist our members? So if a consumer complains with the NCR, will that then be sent to you? And if they are a member of the credit ombud, you will deal with the matter. And if they are not a member, you will send the matter back to the NCR. Or yeah.
The way it works in practice is if you're a subscribing member of the credit ombud, the NCR and their call center each have a list of the subscribing members. So when a consumer complains to the NCR, they can patch that call through to us, and we've made the arrangements for that to happen. Most of the time at the moment, there is a flow of emails between us where that complaint is referred to us to deal with. We have had some occasions where in fact, over the last couple of months, one of our members alerted us that they have received a complaint from the NCR. We then contacted the NCR, and then that complaint was referred to us. You understand that the subscribing members of the credit ombud prefer that any dispute that the consumer raised is dealt with by the credit ombud rather than the NCR in the first instance. Obviously, if the consumer is not happy with the outcome of the credit ombud, then the consumer is free to pursue the matter in a court of law or at the tribunal, the National Consumer Tribunal. But we find very few instances where consumers take further action after the matters we've dealt with have been settled even not in their favor. And you see it in our customer satisfaction number, that even when about 50% of the consumers that are interviewed are consumers where the outcome of the matter was not in their favor, our customer satisfaction numbers still sit in the high 80s or 86% for last year. So it's important to understand that the consumer complaint to the NCR is then referred to us. We deal with it and we try to resolve the matter. There are cases where consumers are contacting us with a complaint against some company that is not a subscribing member. In that case, we refer that complaint to the NCR and ask the NCR to deal with it, because we have taken a decision some time ago that we will not deal with complaints against companies that are not members of the credit ombudsman.
Okay, thank you very much, Howard. I see in the chat box here, it's also stating that is MFSA working on a plan or maybe a collective agreement? The thing is, we are in discussions with the credit ombudsman. We are going to do a follow-up meeting with Howard and his team to see how we can get to a resolution. Yes, I think we are a little bit over time. If there's any burning questions that you have for Howard, you can send them to the MFSA. I will forward them to Howard. But I think it's very important that we start looking at membership of the credit ombudsman, because this will also almost be like a buffer before complaints get escalated to the NCR, because you never want consumers to complain to the NCR, because then you are on the radar. So yes, you can call Howard and his team on that contact details. Thank you so much, Howard. We really appreciate your time. And thank you for the good presentation. And we will provide our members with feedback on the discussions that we are going to have with the Ombudsman. Up next, we have Tebogo Mokoena from Akiba Digital, and she will be doing a presentation for us. Welcome, Tebogo.
Thank you, Leonie, and good morning, everyone. I will be sharing my screen. Just maybe kindly confirm, Leonie, if you can see it.
It is now stating that you are, yes, I can see it. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Good morning, and yeah, thank you so much, everyone, for being here. My name is Tebogo Mokoena, and I'm representing Akiba Digital, which is a financial technology company based in Johannesburg, South Africa. And really, our mission is to make it help lenders make better lending decisions using, some sort of intelligence, and that's basically what I'll be demoing today. Before we jump into the demo, just want to highlight some of the three main pain points that a lot of our lenders, or the lenders that we work with, have, and that we help them resolve. One of which is, a lot of the lending processes or the lending value chain is quite manual, which has added a lot of frictions, not only for the consumer, but for the lenders themselves, especially during times like COVID. One of those issues is that this process of paper-based or manual lending processes is a high friction process, which makes it lengthy for lenders to extend credit to individuals or even businesses. The second aspect is that this requires a lot of operational muscle in order for you as a lender to deliver on the high sort of paper-based process. And lastly, we know that in capturing that information on paper-based processes, it becomes a bit difficult, and therefore the information turns to be inaccurate. So what we do at Akiba is we help lenders digitize the entire lending value chain, from prospecting sources, or prospective sourcing, onboarding or application, to credit underwriting using alternative credit scoring, to loan disbursement, where we automate, provide you with an automated workflow, to loan monitoring once the loan has been disbursed, and of course optimizing collection and recovery. And without any further ado, I'll jump straight into what our platform looks like. So lenders on our platform have access to, as MFSA members, if you're interested, you'll have access to our platform, which we call Gugu. And this platform essentially allows you to onboard any of your new applicants or new customers, or else import your existing loan book. Once you have any sort of new applications, you will see a high level of the value of your book, the average score, risk score, the active loans, and number of borrowers in this particular book. And the view can be both in a progress bar, where it makes it easy for you to move applications across the value chain as you're making decisions, or else you will see that in a table format like this. These particular applications are also, for you as a lender, you can essentially enable these applications to come directly into your book from a loan origination widget that we provide to you, that you can easily connect into your digital platform. So this widget you can easily customize on the platform, and it looks something like this. So, imagine this is your website and you can just plug this little widget where your customers can come on and specify how much loan they require, specify whether they're individuals or businesses, type in their ID number, which we obviously verify, and also their email address. And again, this for the purpose of the demo, I'll just put demo information. And once they've specified the loan requirements, they can choose what bank they bank with, provide the bank information that they use. And lastly, all they have to do is we then verify their identity. So this particular process here, we ask them to take a picture of themselves. So we take a capture selfie, they then upload their bank statement and submit their application. What we then do in the background is we pull that information for you. So for example, if I, Tebogo, have just applied now, you as a lender will see your application that says, hi, Tebogo just submitted their application. This is how much they are asking for, right? This is how long they think they're gonna pay back their loan. Using that selfie information and the ID numbers and the bank statement, we pull that information and create an alternative score to assess risk as to whether this particular customer can afford the particular loan amount that they're requesting for. We also do a fraud detection score for you when the customer applies here. And what that looks like is we essentially use the ID number they provided, pull the image that is linked to their ID from Home Affairs, and we verify that this person that is here applying on this particular in this particular case is exactly the same person whose ID this belongs to. This typically reduces a lot of fraud cases for most lenders, and also in cases where other fraud cases where customers are trying to use ID numbers of the deceased or anything like that, we're able to catch that. So this will either pass or it will fail if there's some sort of fraud. We also do the ID check, of course, to make sure that this is a legitimate ID directly with Home Affairs. And that selfie biometric is for us to verify that all the information corresponds to each other. Another thing we do is we give you an idea of what the default prediction of that particular customer when they're applying looks like. So this default prediction allows us to tell you whether this particular customer is likely to default or not, given their spending behaviors from their bank statements, given the risk that we've detected, the fraud risk that we've detected, and many other patterns that we've pulled from their bank statement. We then also output to you as the lender what their affordability looks like. So this is basically given the balances over the last 3 months or so, we're able to sort of map out what that balance trend of that customer is like, and give you an idea of how much we think they can afford on a monthly basis. So obviously, given all this information, at you can easily see whether this particular applicant at source is good for credit or not, which makes it easy for you to make those lending decisions. So a lot of this uses the data that we pull from the transactions on their bank statement. We pull information from Home Affairs, and we're also able to integrate with credit bureaus like TransUnion and so forth, if you so wish to have an Empirica score as well. Now, once you see this application, you can easily generate an offer here for this particular customer. You can, we obviously suggest certain values. For example, if they're asking for that particular amount that they're good for, you can specify how much, how much you're comfortable to lend to these particular applicant. And of course, your interest and admin fees can be pre-populated when you set up your account. And when you generate an offer, this will automatically send an email to this applicant to say, hi, you have received an offer from so-and-so and so. And if there are any outstanding documents that are required, it will essentially tell that particular applicant that these are the documents that are required. Please upload those before your application can move ahead. So that's essentially what the platform allows you to do. You can review applications of both individuals and businesses. Of course, if you're doing both consumption lending and SME lending, so you're able to use the same origination or same application form, which is highly customizable to accept applications of both. Another interesting feature here is, of course, you can easily filter at source some of the applications that are good for credit or not. So if you're just only interested in applications that are good for credit, it will filter those for you. Also, you are able to, if you view it from this particular progress board, you can see where some of your backlogs are or bottlenecks are in the value chain. So, if at source, there's a lot of applications and it's not moving and decisions are not made, whether or not an application is approved or declined. As the admin, you will be able to see, who in your team is responsible for making the decisions in this particular part of the value chain, or in legals, or when funds are ready, or when the loan is finalized. So that is basically what the platform looks like in a nutshell. As the admin, you will essentially be able to add all of your team members here. You can always add a new, add a new member or new team member and specify what their roles are. Put the email address, and that will automatically create that user for you. So obviously, as an admin, you'll be able to perform these particular functions. And also as admin, you're able to see what tasks each of the person or members are responsible for. So if they are reviewing certain applications, you can see this on a user level, and you can see that on an organizational level, or perhaps a branch level as well. So that's basically what this particular product does in a nutshell. The other interesting feature that we are now working on is essentially when you've moved these the application across the value chain, every time it moves in a different stage, the applicant or the customer will get an automatic update on email. And we are also working to make those updates available on WhatsApp as well. So they can easily see whether the loan has been approved. They'll get a WhatsApp message to say your loan has been approved, or we need these information, particular documents from you. And once the loan has been dispersed, we are also able to enable you as a lender to see the health of this particular applicant, specifically for the SMEs. We can provide you insights of how well the applicant is doing after the loan is dispersed, and whether their affordability is going up or down, and how that is going to affect your repayment or their repayment on your loan. So that particular feature, of course, allows us to optimize even more in enabling you as a lender to reduce your default which at this stage, we're happy to say that for most of our lenders, the default is always below 5%. And we're hoping to keep that particular metric across all the lenders that we work with. And also in closing, we also have a special offer for MFSA members. We're running an 80% discount for MFSA lenders to essentially access a platform on an annual basis. And so if you are interested to find out more or have us demo your particular use case, we're happy to connect after this. I believe the MFSA will also share our contacts, but please feel free to also message me directly or else use the contact information to get a hold of us.
Right, thank you so much for the presentation. I think there's the details of Tebogo and the team, and we will also put it into the chat box so that you have the information. I see there was a couple of questions going on in the chat box, but I think it's best to speak directly to the service provider. Okay, up next, we are going to play a game. MFSA likes games, so let's have some fun and let's guess the sound. So how it will work is you guess the word associated with the sound clip that you hear. The first person to answer correctly in the chat box will be the winner. There will be 7 sound clips and 7 winners. And if you are a winner, you must email admin@MFSA to redeem your mystery prize. So it's going to be 7 mystery prizes. So let's start with the first one. Hey, the answer is 7 Delan, and the winner is Sunal Stein. Congratulations, Sunal. Let's listen to the next one. Thank you.
And the winner is
Dalisu. If you can also email admin@MFSA. Congratulations. And the next one. The winner is Marga Stein, because she said SABC News. Congratulations. Okay, congratulations. Let's listen to the next one. The winner is Marisa H. Yes, we are definitely not checking spelling, so don't worry about that. Congratulations. Let's listen to the next one. And the winner is Anton Marx. Congratulations. Remember to email us. Let's listen to the next one. Okay, so this one is a little bit difficult. I don't think that we received the answer yet. So I'm going to let you listen to it once again. So let's give you another shot at it. Okay, so I think we made a little mistake and we showed the screener already the answer. So in any case, the winner is then who answered Colombia first. We will announce that just now. I see a couple of very interesting answers like, yeah, it's interesting. The winner, Sunay will give me the answer just now. Okay, let's listen to the next one so long, but it was also Anton Marx. Well done, it's second time in a row. Let's listen to the next one. Great. And the winner is Veronica. Congratulations. I think this was a very interesting game, and I'm actually very surprised that people got it right. So, great. And that was everything from the games that we played. Next up, we will be looking at a video from Experian. Thank you so much. Next up, we are going to welcome Glenn Davies from Experian onto the stage, and he's going to present on their different products that they want to showcase to others in order to assist them with compliance.
Good morning and welcome to the class of Experian Business Skills Institute, the trusted training partner for learners, professionals and companies throughout Africa. We offer qualifications and learnerships that give learners the necessary business tools to build long and successful careers. And today, I'd like to introduce you to our new online course offerings. Through short digital courses, learners can action what they've just learned, making them effective, valuable and productive from the get-go. On your screens, you will see our live training platform, simple to navigate, and you can simply type in what you'd like to learn today or scroll through our great selection. We have 9 categories, each providing you with a variety of courses. And I wonder if anyone could guess what at the moment is our most popular course. I'll give you a hint. You'll find it in our legislation and compliance category. And you would be correct if you chose our POPI introductory online program. By clicking on the thumbnail, it will take you through to the course outline and the outcomes. And should you want to know more about the course, you're welcome to contact me or the Experian team. What we'd like you to do now is to sign up, explore our online program, and take that first step, be it for yourself or for your employees, and move forward Move your futures forward with Experian BSI.
Great, thank you very much. I think this is very informative. I think training is such an important part of the microfinance industry, and I think your presentation really speaks to it. So I want to encourage members, please visit their website. Glenn, if you can also just put that link of the website in there again.
Sure.
And then I want members to browse through it, look at it, make sure that your staff members receive the necessary training. Also, this is the importance of the workplace skills plan, because the Bank CETA will then be able to provide you with funding in order to attend all of these courses. So for next year, make sure that you fill in your workplace skills plan and make sure that you train your staff correctly. So next, we are going to have our main speaker of the day, Abdullah Verachia. We will be stopping our recording now because Abdullah does not allow recording. So if you are in the session, it's good that you are in. Abdullah works at the senior faculty at GIBS. He's a program director for Harvard Senior Executive Program. He's the co-founder of DigiCars. He's the chairperson of the Board of Education Africa. He is a PhD candidate. He went to Harvard Business School. He has got a bachelor's in law and a master's in management cum laude. So we want to welcome Abdullah. Thank you to our sponsors. They make a lot of this possible. Yes, and thank you for attending this session. Please remember to fill in the survey so we can get your information back. And then we also really look forward to the other sessions that are taking place and also the digital compliance sessions. If you have any information that you need or any contact details, please do not hesitate to contact us. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. I am going to close the meeting now. Thank you.